The following program is a work of fiction dealing with the potential fallout from untreated mental illness. If you are triggered by this subject, we urge you to proceed cautiously and to look into counseling or other resources available online or in your area. Take action. You're worth it.
This is a long story. It's a story about my family and the things I feared within it. When we used to live down the road from Second Bridge, I feared my father and mother, and I tried to protect my little sister. I feared what would happen to her, and I feared what would happen to me. I feared my own mind and the thoughts that came from it. My only respite was my time in the woods that surrounded our property, where I could enjoy the solitude of winter and the smell of pines, darkly. That was the place where I came to embrace the thing that lived inside me, the truth that I could not avoid. I was a killer in a family of killers, and I couldn't help what came next. I wrote this song the day I found the corpse. It seems silly to refer to something as small as a squirrel as a corpse, but I don't know what else to call it. Body, trash, just a squirrel. The squirrel was on our porch, split open from neck to crotch. That's why I noticed it originally. A splash of red in the middle of the brown boards of our front porch. It didn't look like it had been killed by an animal. Looked like it had been slaughtered by a person. Dispatched, then left there. A surgical incision splitting its middle. I stood over it, wondering how it got there, wondering who was responsible, when I became very aware that I was outside without my headphones. It was dangerous to be this close to the woods without my headphones. I have good headphones. Full sealed back, leather cups, choice of cable or Bluetooth. They set me back a pretty penny. Keep them in a velvet pouch, but they were inside the house now. And the woods, the acre of woods that surrounded our house, surrounded me, were right there. Right there. And they wouldn't shut up. Hey, Dad.
What?
Did you see this?
What? It's a squirrel.
Don't you think it's weird? Someone kills a squirrel and just leaves it on our porch?
Probably one of the cats.
But the wound, it looks like it was cut. There's no way that the cat...
Quit looking at that thing. It's morbid. Clean it and cook it or bury it in the woods. I don't care. Just get it off the porch.
Freak.
Shut up, Nadia. My creep of a sister.
What the hell are you doing in here? I can hear you all the way down the hall.
Did you take my headphones?
No.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure. I don't have a death wish. I expect you and those headphones to get engaged any day now.
Are you sure?
Yes. You, lost them?
Don't you have something to do?
Have you looked behind here?
Leave my stuff alone.
I'm not touching your keyboard. It's just a bookcase.
Leave it alone.
Hey, can I borrow this book?
Last podcast? Since when are you interested in true crime?
Jan asked if he could see it.
Were you guys in my room?
No, stupid. We walked by and we saw your collection of murder books. He's kind of into it.
You sure can pick 'em.
Yeah. And you know why.
What?
You know why Jan's into me.
There's no subject I'd like to think on less than what turns your boyfriend on.
Fiancé.
What?
He's my fiancé.
Congrats. Where's the ring?
That's a slave symbol. We're not heteronormative.
Look, if you're not going to help me look for my headphones, would you please just get out of here?
Where'd you see them last?
Seriously, don't you have anything better?
They're probably in the car.
What?
You take them to work, right? They're probably in the car.
Right. Can I borrow yours?
Just go to the car and get yours.
That's what I need them for. I need them to get... Never mind.
Wait. You need my headphones to get your headphones?
Shut up.
This is about that fucking squirrel, isn't it?
What?
That disgusting thing on the front porch? Did you do that?
Of course not. Why didn't you clean it up if you saw it?
I'm not touching that thing.
I said no.
So who did? Daniel?
I don't know.
But Dad's blaming you, isn't he?
Would you get out of my way, please?
You're such an idiot. Don't let him do that.
You're blocking the doorway.
You let him walk all over you.
He's our father. And what do you care?
It's just... it's hilarious.
I like the woods, I really do, but I can't go into them without help. That's what the headphones are for, and the music. This song is one of mine, too. I wrote it back when I had a band back in high school. I had a lot of things then that I've since lost. No use moping. The woods are beautiful. I really think so. I just can't listen to them. It's the pine trees in these woods, and when the wind blows, I can't describe it. It's like I can almost but not quite hear something in the sound of the wind. I'm not saying it's voices. I'm not saying that. I can never hear it well enough to know for sure. But I'm sure it's not voices. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. It's like my brain is trying to make sense of the sound, trying to turn it into a story that I can understand. So when I go into the woods, I go into the woods to enjoy the sight and the smell, but not the sound. Really, who would? You ever hear of a great naturalist going into the wilderness to listen? They paint or take photographs or write. They don't listen. There's too much to hear, and too much of it is quiet, just below hearing. I like this sound. It's just a mix of mush I made to help me sleep sometimes. I really need it some nights. My brain is trying to take everything I hear and turn it into something. A woodpecker starts speaking in code. The wind becomes voices I can't quite understand.
It's not a problem.
It is a problem, Mother.
Not those voices. Those voices I understand perfectly.
Jan is allergic to, everything. I went by this stupid menu.
Watch your tone.
Stupid menu when you said it was sour cream and rice tonight. You can't just change that.
Well, if I'd known Jan was coming...
I told you.
If I'd known Jan was coming more than a half hour in advance, I could have adjusted.
I told you yesterday. And you don't need to adjust anything. The menu was perfect until you changed it.
Your father asked me to use up the last of the venison.
Jan is vegetarian.
Daniel, what are you doing?
There's a dead squirrel on the porch. I'm burying it.
Do you need something?
I want to talk to Dad a minute.
Well, the shovels are all in the shed, not the basement. Your father's in the basement, and you know that's his space.
Freak show, this family.
Nadia, please.
Why? You've been incredibly anal about dinner for my entire life. Why do you change this now?
I told you, the venison.
I just need to talk to Dad a minute.
Daniel.
Can you make the rice anyway? Aside?
Daniel,
I'm just going to talk to him a minute.
You get your hand off that goddamn door right now. You're not going into the basement. You're going to go outside, get a shovel, and do whatever he said.
Mom.
You and your boyfriend can come to dinner or not. I don't care. You're definitely old enough to do whatever you want. It's venison. Well, something else?
Could you give him a message?
I'm not going down there, and neither are you.
Mom, I just need...
I get that times are tough. I get it. It's hard for young people to get a start, but we just never expected to have a pair of teenagers quite this long. 8 years is supposed to be the maximum, and then you were... I love you, Daniel. I really do. But the tension in this house. Just do what your father says.
That was the first time she'd actually said it out loud. I'm 24, Nadia's 22. We both pay rent. Well, I do, anyway, but I get it. Mom probably dreamed the suburban dream. The two of us married with homes of our own, now pushing grandkids into her lap. Instead, it's this. We're all cooped up together. I work at a call center processing insurance claims. Nadia works sometimes and babysits. Mom has 2 part-time jobs, and Dad, I don't really know. I never asked. You don't ask. Not in my house. I love this house. I love the woods. I love the smell. Everything. Everything but the sound. And even that I couldn't resist. The squirrel was under the ground. The shoveling was done. Like an addict, I felt the pines drawing me in. I could see them, of course, waving in a slight late winter wind. I could see them, but my ears longed to hear. What would it hurt? The junkie asked himself. What could it possibly hurt?
Okay?
What?
You look like you've seen a ghost.
How long have I... This is the Viking.
Uh-huh.
How the hell did I get here?
Walked through that door right there. You had 2 cups of coffee and a piece of pie.
How long have I been here?
I don't know, 20 minutes?
Sorry. God, I'm not normally this much of a freak. I must have, I don't know, fallen asleep or something.
That's so.
What?
You didn't seem very asleep to me. Talked to me and everything.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
For what?
I don't think I know you.
They warned me about that.
About what?
Moving to a small town. You stand out like a sore thumb if you didn't go to school with everyone else. I'm Beth.
Oh, I'm Daniel. Dan.
Nice to meet you, Daniel Dan. More coffee?
I think I need it.
Me too.
Sorry.
For what?
Being so weird.
I like the distraction. You're not hurting anyone anyways.
You're very kind.
Oh, thanks.
What is it?
It's just not the normal line I get from guys. Never been called kind before.
I'm not really trying to flirt. I'm just trying to get my bearings.
Not trying to flirt is the best kind of flirting.
I'll make a note since vulnerable and weird is such a turn on. You are new though, right?
Guilty. I have an aunt in town I'm visiting for a little while.
And you thought it would be fun to pick up a few waitress shifts while you're visiting? Sorry, I'm being a jerk.
Fine. You caught me. My visit is a little more of a semi-permanent thing.
Who's your aunt?
Barb Houston?
Sure, I know her. We used to go to her church. She's always there.
That she is. Don't get me wrong, she's been great. She lets me go my own way, no judgment or anything. It's just kind of confusing.
What is?
Everything. Nothing. I'm messed up. My brain complicates things. That make any sense?
Totally and completely. Everything is confusing, and Aunt Barb seems to have it all together. Only her life feels like it's from another planet. My folks are the same way. I can't talk to them about anything.
Well, this conversation got deep.
Sorry, I always get this way after blackouts.
Or, crap. Was that serious? Do you have blackouts? Do you need me to call someone?
Honestly, I don't know.
I had to get some distance between me and my dad. That's why I'm here.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it just seemed... I don't know. Like, as long as we're being honest, I should tell you.
No, I understand.
As long as we're being honest... Oh, God, you must think I'm a freak.
No,
We've known each other 5 minutes, and here I am, bearing my soul.
it's okay, I get it. You wanted some space from your dad. I wish I could get some space from mine.
You live with them?
Pathetic, I know.
No, it's not. I mean, you have a job, right?
Sure, I work at the call center.
That's the difference. I have a lot of friends still living with their parents, but they either don't have jobs or want to spend everything they make on vacation and toys. You don't strike me as that kind.
I have friends like that too. Would it be weird if I asked what time you got off work?
Wouldn't be weird. I wouldn't tell you, but it wouldn't be weird.
I could walk you home.
Then you'd know where I live.
You live in the pink and green house about 2 blocks off 3rd Street on Oak, I think?
Are you... Wait a minute.
I went to church with your Aunt Barb, remember? Mom had a Bible study at that house.
Right. Small town. But she might have moved.
She didn't.
How do you know?
Your face just now.
You're interesting, Daniel Dan.
Oh my gosh. Do you see this?
Daniel out in public.
Hey, freak show. What's going on?
Hello, Brett.
When did we last see this asshole around people?
Oh, it seems like months.
Months easy.
Dan, if you need anything...
Whoa, hold up. You're new here.
Could be.
Oh, definitely. I remember you.
Yeah.
I need to get back to the kitchen.
You were a waitress?
Yes.
Then lean that luscious hip up against the bar and wait. I want to order.
Fine. What can I get you?
Pie.
What kind?
Dark, juicy pie.
You gotta tell me what kind.
Fish.
We don't have fish pie.
From what I smell, we do.
Shut up, Brett.
You gonna make me?
This isn't high school. You can't treat people like that. It's assault.
You know, Steed,
Yeah?
I'm a little slow today. I just figured out what's going on.
What's that?
When we walked in, Dicks Out Danny was in the process of making moves on the new fish in town.
Shut up.
Here I thought he was gay all these years, and it turns out Dicks Out Danny was just too stuck up for anyone in town. Had to wait for, what's your name, darling?
It's Beth.
It's Beth. Dicks Out Danny was just waiting for Beth, here to come sweep him off his feet. Oh, you're wondering about his nickname? That's a funny story.
Brett, come on.
See, back in 7th grade, or maybe it was 8th, little Danny here was experiencing funny feelings downstairs for the first time, right? Probably the co-ed gym class. We all had to dress down, you know. Don't know who it was who got under Danny's skin, but he just had to go take care of things in one of the stalls. Of course, he wasn't so good at being quiet, so it was pretty easy to find him, kick the door open, snap a few pictures.
You're a real piece of shit, you know that?
Yeah, but you couldn't do anything about it back then, and you're not going to do anything about it now.
Hey, I found the picture. Check this out.
No, that's...
Funny, right? Check out that haircut. I bet his mom still has the bowl.
I'm really sorry, Dan. I don't... I mean...
Oh, come on, Danny. Where's your sense of humor?
Dick's out.
I wish I could say I didn't run, but I did. The minute I was out of sight of the diner, I ran. It shouldn't have bothered me so much. Brett and Steed have been giving me crap since middle school, but it did. Felt the same. I might as well have been 12 again. had to get home. Someone probably missed me. I had to cut through the forest, but the wind had died, so it was okay. It had to be okay. Had to be. I needed to get home before I was missed. Had to get away from... She'd laughed. Of course she'd laughed. It's funny. Why would someone like her be interested in someone like me? She wouldn't. Even if Brett hadn't shown up, it wouldn't have worked out. She would have found out sooner or later. Found out I was a freak. Found out I had mental problems. Found... I was in the woods by then. About a mile from home down an old path we knew as kids. The path was a shortcut, but there weren't any houses in that part. Barely any clearings. But there was a single street light, visible through the trees. I don't know why it was there. Probably someone had a house up here once and installed it to light his driveway. We called it the ghost light because it just sat in the middle of the woods, throwing that weird amber light into a tiny pool right around it. When you walked down this path, it was actually creepier to be near the light than in total darkness. In darkness, you could feel your way, and your hearing was amped up to compensate, but with that one light there, the balance got thrown off. Nothing you saw or heard seemed real. That's why I freaked out so bad when I saw, or thought I saw, who was under that light. We had a story in town. A boogeyman story. There's a man named Old Ole who was supposed to have a cabin in the woods. He was a serial killer, or an axe murderer, depending on which version of the story you heard, who went looking for little kids. Ole Ole will find you on a night that's foggy too. Boogeyman story. Something they told us to make sure we'd come home before dark. I remember it scared Nadia to death. He was supposed to be huge and old, with a gray beard down to his chest, filthy leather apron like he'd been butchering something, and a knife, long enough to take off your head with one chop. I hadn't heard that story in years, but it stays with you. You don't forget the stuff you hear when you're a kid. That's what made this night in the woods so terrible, so enraging. Maybe it was everything with Brett and that girl, or maybe I was just at my wit's end. Or, of course, I could have just been crazy. But when I looked through the woods towards that one weird street light, I saw him. I saw Old Ole just how I used to imagine him. Standing under the light, big beard, bloody apron, knife, everything. Before I'd even thought about it, I was marching toward him. I wasn't a kid anymore, and I was having a hell of a day. So maybe I was a little reckless, but I was marching right toward him. I don't think there really was an Old Ole, and I didn't care. I just knew this asshole was harshing my calm, and I could do something about it. I couldn't do anything about Brett or the girl, but I could do something about this. As I got closer, he kind of stepped back into the shadows. I could tell now he didn't have a knife. That's when I guess I kind of lost it. Got up on him, and he was real, all right. I could get a grip on his coat, and I can feel his face giving a little under my fists, and my hands hurt like hell, but I didn't care. I kept swinging and swinging, because for a change, I got to hurt someone. Some asshole cosplaying in the woods, some jerk.
No, please.
Somebody who was... What?
Please, mister, I'm sorry.
Who the hell are you?
I didn't know. I didn't know this was your spot. I'm real sorry.
The man wasn't who I saw. He was smaller and wearing a ton of clothes. Probably everything he owned. Glanced behind him and saw a shopping cart piled over with tarps and junk. Who the hell are you?
Oh, yeah. I'll move along. I was just looking for a place to set up camp. I won't make no trouble.
Who? I don't know.
Oh, Jesus, Mary, my left arm's all numb. I don't think I've had anything to eat in so long. Can you spare any cash? My arm. Oh.
I'm sorry. I thought you were someone else.
Don't go.
I have to get back.
Please. I've been hanging on by a thread for a long time now. This has been a long time coming. It's okay. But could you just stay here?
I gotta go.
Just stay, please. I won't ask you to try anything. None of that CPR or nothing. Just don't try and bring me back. But please, I don't want to die alone.
I'm sorry.
Son?
I kept walking. I kept walking and he didn't make another sound. I kept listening for it, but he didn't make another sound. I just kept walking. I did hear something, though. Something in the woods. Nearby, but a million miles away. Damn it. Morning. It's open. What?
Good morning, sunshine.
Get out.
Nope, I was invited.
Nadia, please get out.
I told you, I'm here by invitation.
Whose?
Yours? You came in late last night and you asked me to make sure you got up in time for work. Seemed pretty insistent, too.
I don't remember doing that.
Not surprising. What were you flying on last night anyway?
Keep your voice down.
Relax, Dad's already gone, I think. Seriously, though, you were really out of it last night. What's going on?
Nothing.
Uh-huh.
Since when is my welfare your hobby? What?
Jan said it's all over town that Brett was giving you shit at the Viking last night.
Great.
I'm just thinking. I know that was a real struggle back in the day. For you.
I don't worry about that idiot.
So he didn't humiliate you and run you out into the street?
No.
Fine. Did my goody-goody thing and it got tossed back in my face. Like usual. You're gonna be late, jerk. Get a move on.
Nadia, wait.
What?
There's something that's been bugging me.
Yeah?
Do you think I'd be capable of killing someone?
Where did this come from?
What's so funny? Stop it. What's so funny?
Jeez, Daniel. Don't you get it? We all are.
What?
Of course you're capable of it. Kind of surprised you haven't before now.
How can you say that? I couldn't.
Everyone could. You know that better than I do, judging from your bookshelf.
Reading about it is different. You're ignorant.
I know more than you think.
About what?
About murder, genius.
Have you been in my room again?
I have a phone and the internet. I have no need for your dead treason ink. I know all kinds of things. Like the McDonald triad, for instance.
So?
So I think that's why you're asking me if you're capable of killing someone. You had that head injury at the 9th Street rink. You used to wet the bed.
For God's sakes, I was 4.
I know. And then there's that squirrel. Third part of the triad, right? Animal abuse?
I had nothing to do with the squirrel. Besides, the triad describes factors from childhood that could lead to a person becoming a serial killer. I'm 24.
Hey, you just asked if I thought you could kill. Just pointing out the evidence.
Well, if that's the evidence, anyone could fit in the triangle.
In this family, maybe.
Quit blaming the family.
Why?
Because you shouldn't say those things. Besides, you're part of the family. What have you done? No way.
No, you're right. I have never taken a life.
So why do you say these things?
Remember Sylvie Maxwell? My bestie from 2nd grade?
The girl that drowned.
Mm-hmm. Her folks had a place on the lake. We were jumping off the dock. Her folks weren't nearby because, lake kids swim like fish, right? She jumped in and must have hit a rock or something because she messed up her ankle real bad. Probably broke it. And she panicked. Trying to kick with a busted ankle. She's screaming and going under at the same time. All it really takes is one lungful of water and...
And you think this makes you a murderer?
No, not really anyway. I mean, I was just 8 myself. What the hell could I do? I remember what it felt like to stand and watch. To wait and look and not call out for help. Not until she was all the way under. Then I ran up to the house and told her mom what happened. She's screaming. Her dad dove into the water heroically. So damn silty in the lake he couldn't find her. Police had to dredge her up later. Meanwhile, I'm under shock blankets and they're asking me questions. All kinds of attention. Somebody actually gave me ice cream. And on Monday at school, everyone was super nice. Miss Ramsey even let me skip a test when I said my stomach hurt. You get the picture, Daniel? I never killed anyone. But I didn't feel shit when I watched her die. And the next week, being the center of attention, that was the best damn week of 2nd grade.
I don't know what you want me to say.
Who'd you murder, Daniel?
Nadia? Is Daniel up?
Yeah, Mom. He's in here.
Oh, good. Daniel, I'm glad you're still here. Where's my car?
What?
Well, the van. I thought you took it to work.
I'm running late.
Obviously. Do you know where my car is?
No, why would I take your van?
Well, I don't see your car out there.
Well, it's in town by the Viking. I forgot I had it last night when I went into town and I walked home.
Oh, for God's sakes, Daniel.
Mom, I've got to go. I'm running late.
With what? Your car is missing. My car is missing.
His his truck.
Your father's in the basement. But I wouldn't bother him right now. He's had a very long night.
Okay.
Nadia, do you have any idea where my...
No, I haven't seen the van.
You didn't go out last night?
Sure, but Jan drove.
Sorry, but could you guys leave? I have to call into work.
Of course, honey. You know, this might be a good time to ask them about working from home. You said that was an option, yes?
Yeah, I will. My head ached. My stomach was empty and I had to get something soon or my whole insides would clench up. But I couldn't move. All I could do was sit there at my desk. Same desk I'd had since 8th grade. And look past the posters and the Minnesota Wild pendant. Just looking out the window. The pines around the house were whipping back and forth in the wind. I could almost hear them. I could almost make something out. Just about. I don't know how long I sat there, watching and trying to listen and not listen at the same time. I never did call into work, but I knew I'd be okay. With the labor shortage, they couldn't afford to fire anybody. Maybe I'd even get that home setup I'd been asking for. A special computer, exclusive to work, sitting right there in my room. Roll out of bed and right to work. Add a mini fridge and a microwave, and I'd never need to leave. Never need to go out into the woods again. Never have to talk to Dad or Nadia. Nadia.
We need to call the cops, Will.
No.
The van is missing.
Dad had come up from the basement.
I can't just not have a car. We don't have...
When I stuck my head out in the hallway, Nadia was doing the same from her room.
It's not a pair of
She was
socks,
staring
it's my
down toward the
car.
kitchen,
Well, we can
eyes
bring
like
the cops
saucers.
here. You can't, and you know it.
Well, what do you expect me to do? I've got to work, Will.
You want to bring the cops here? Now? Are you insane?
The van is gone.
Daniel took it.
I asked him already. He said no.
Oh, he lies. He's a lying little shit. Always has been.
Not about this.
I looked at Nadia and she looked at me.
And I will not be
She almost had a look of
responsible for what
sympathy on her
happens.
face.
Down.
You understand?
Almost.
Not responsible.
Fine. Whatever.
Won't be able to find it anyway.
Well, I've got to try.
The fight had been about calling the police about Mom's missing van. She needed it to get to work, errands, and she'd had it since I was about 10. It was more a part of the family than some actual family, I guess. I didn't know why my dad was against calling the police, but it made sense in a way. Maybe that's what people mean when they say in character. It was in character for my dad not to want the police around. I didn't know why, but it just seemed right. It put me on edge to think they'd be here soon. They'd be here. The police, or the sheriffs,
Daniel,
the authorities.
you still with me?
Sorry, yeah?
When did you last see the van?
Yesterday, I guess.
You guess?
It's just always in the driveway. I don't notice it much.
You don't see it.
It doesn't register, I mean.
Yeah. Did you go anywhere yesterday? Daniel.
Yes, I went downtown in the evening.
And you have your own car, right?
Yeah, a Nissan.
So where is it?
Oh, it's a stupid thing. I forgot I had it with me.
Forgot.
Yeah, I went down to the Viking for a cup of coffee, and I forgot I drove, walked home.
Oh, and about that, I want to apologize for my brother. I heard you two got into it last night.
Don't worry about it.
I guess he's our black sheep. I'll talk to him.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you walked home, you said?
Yeah.
Isn't that about 2 miles?
I cut through the woods. There's a bunch of trails back there. It's pretty safe.
Sure, I used to goof off on those trails when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So you forgot your car and you walked home through the woods.
Yeah.
What time was that?
7 or 8, I think.
Closer to 8?
I think so. I really don't remember.
Because maybe you could help us with another matter.
What?
We picked up an old homeless guy last night. He was in pretty bad shape. Apparently he'd crawled all the way back to the road from somewhere in the woods and managed to flag down a car. We got him to the hospital.
What was wrong with him?
That's the thing. He'd claimed he'd been attacked. You know that old street light at Rogers Corner? The one that's just kind of out in the woods now? Daniel?
No.
I thought you said you'd been all through those trails. Tough to miss that light. It looks like something out of Narnia.
Oh, yeah, the street light, sure.
You remember it now?
Yeah.
This old homeless guy said he'd been attacked there. Said some young guy just walked out of the woods wearing a red jacket and started beating the crap out of him. He said he thought he was having a heart attack.
That's terrible.
I guess this old guy was a vagrant, but I don't think he deserved that. So, do you know anything about this?
Me?
Yeah. You said you were walking through the woods about then. Did you see anything?
No.
How about a red jacket? Do you own one?
Do you think I did it?
To be honest, no. I'd like to eliminate you as a suspect, though. I'm sure some kids just did it and the guy had it wrong. Probably wasn't even a red jacket. These guys drink Everclear. They're half blind.
I didn't see anyone. I walked by the streetlight and I didn't see anyone.
Uh-huh. Do you own a red jacket?
I don't think... No.
Okay. If you think of anything else, here's my card.
Thank you.
Rose Follette?
Yes.
Looks like you got a delivery.
Yeah.
Would you sign there, please?
I'll just show myself out.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
What is it, Mom?
It's from an attorney in Colorado Springs.
Do you think it's about your dad?
Maybe. Oh,
Is that a check?
Jesus.
$60,000? I thought you said you and your dad never got along.
We don't. Oh,
What is it?
he's dead.
What?
Apparently your grandfather died some time ago. This is my share of a life insurance policy. I guess he split it between me and his new wife.
Wow. So is there going to be a funeral?
I'm sure it already happened, and I'm sure we weren't invited. Well, this is something.
I couldn't believe that day. But if you thought we were jumping up and down about that money, forget it. It was a funeral house now. Then to make things weirder, Mom just marched downstairs to the basement. Dad's domain. She never did that. None of us did. She came up 5 minutes later, and 5 minutes after that, my father left. I walked back through the woods to get to town. Headphones on, of course, listening to some loops I made years ago. When I can't hear them and can't mishear them, I love the woods. The smell, the sights. The wind would hit a branch and dislodge the snow, sending it down on top of me. I didn't even mind that. I was wandering in the general direction of town when I realized I was retracing my steps from the night before. Then there was the lamppost. The Narnia lamppost, the cop called it. Behind, just at the edge of the woods, I could see the homeless guy's shopping cart leaning and kind of crooked against a tree. All the content seemed to be there. I bet that'll make him happy when he got back to it. I had half a mind to push the cart up the trail and take it to the hospital, deliver it to the guy in his room maybe. But I kept walking. I just kept my head down until I left the woods and walked downtown. It was with more than a little relief that I saw my car parked next to the Viking. I'd put a lot of work into that car. Kept it running when it probably shouldn't. Apparently I'd gotten in my car, driven down here, chatted with the waitress while eating pie, and had no memory of any of it. Kind of terrifying, but also kind of distant. Like I'd almost fallen off a cliff and was now steadily walking away, more safe with every step. Safe. I felt safe. I felt safe until I noticed the police tape across the door of the diner.
Yeah, I did know her.
Barb's granddaughter, I heard.
That's so. It's a shame. Things like this never used to happen in town. What's her name?
Beth. Pretty little thing.
Shame. I just hope they don't try to reopen the diner soon. They'll never get that blood out.
Oh, they will. But you're right. They really shouldn't open up too soon.
Waitress murdered like that in a restaurant. You'd stay closed for a month or two at least.
Oh, at least. Yeah, I wonder who did it.
Probably just some drifter going through town.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Drifters, you can't trust them.
She was dead. They were talking about Beth, the girl that was nice to me. The girl from out of town, the girl trying to get away from something. She was dead. Would the cops want to talk to me? Was I the last one to see her alive? I gotta think. Gotta think. Options. Mom?
Just a second, Daniel. There. Just writing Janet to let her know about our little windfall.
You told Janet?
Oh, I tell Janet everything. Now, what's up?
I was wondering what your plans were for the money.
Well, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I was thinking about a new kitchen.
Oh, those are expensive, right?
Oh, we can afford it now. Not much else to spend it on, honestly. I mean, we couldn't retire on $60,000 at our age. We'd probably spend it all before we died, so I think a new car and a new kitchen. And then the rest in the bank.
New car?
Yes, I've actually been looking online. There's a pretty good one at a lot down in Orr, and the dealer offered to come and pick me up in it.
What about the van?
Well, the cops are looking for it, but I don't hold out much hope. Some kids probably took it and drove it off a cliff somewhere. Why all the questions? Why all the questions about the money? Did you want something?
Oh, well, I did want to talk to you about something, yeah.
What's that?
I'm thinking I should go away.
Do you want to go back to school?
No.
I see. Where would you go?
I don't know. Minneapolis, maybe California.
Uh-huh. Those two options are pretty far apart, Daniel. Doesn't really sound like you have a plan.
It's just an idea.
Well, how much money do you think this idea will take?
I don't know.
So, you don't know where you're going, or what you're going to do when you get there, or how much cash it will take. You just want money to go. My money. Even though you have a full-time job.
Well, I thought because we had this extra money...
That I just wasted? Sweetie, I know it seems like a dead end here, but hitting the open road without a plan? Well, that only works in the movies.
So, no.
I'm sorry, but the answer is no. I love you, Daniel, but I think you still need some watching over. You can't do this impulsive nonsense and expect things to work out.
What do you mean I need watching over?
Oh, don't be mad.
I'm not. I don't understand.
You've just always been very sensitive about things. Your sister's the practical one. She has a tougher hide. She'll do fine on her own, but I worry about you.
I just need 1,000. Maybe for a vacation?
You have your own money for that.
But I was thinking
No, Daniel, you weren't thinking. You were just wanting.
What?
You were just wanting something, that's all. We all do sometimes.
You don't know me.
Excuse me?
You don't know me.
What are you talking about? Are you all right?
I'm not all right. None of us are all right.
Daniel.
None of us. None of us.
What are you doing with that?
The scissors, Mother? What am I doing with the scissors? Here, I'll help you see.
Ah!
There. Is that better?
You almost stabbed me in the eye.
Oh, I wasn't that close. Not as close as I can get now. See, if I grab your hair like that and yank your head back so that it stays still, I can get the point of the scissors very close indeed.
Daniel!
Relax, Mom. You're fighting my hand. Fighting against me holding your hair like this. You know what would happen if I let go of your hair with your neck straining against my grip? You'd plunge forward. You wouldn't be able to help yourself. You'd plunge forward right onto the point of these.
Daniel! Hey. Let me take those. Now, loosen your grip. Let go, Dan. Let her go, now.
What the hell is wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you? You could have stabbed me in the eye.
I'm sorry.
You're sorry? You're sorry?
Mom.
You do anything like that to me again and I will end you. Do you understand? I will turn this whole family into a Greek tragedy and roast you alive on a spit. Do you understand?
Jesus, Mom. Relax. Daniel?
What's wrong with me? 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 What the hell was that? What did I do? What did I gotta go. I gotta get out. I don't have my headphones. No, it doesn't matter. Go. Just keep walking. I just keep going. I don't have headphones. Doesn't matter. It's just the wind. It's just the wind and the pine trees. No. Just wind. Quit trying to make sense of wind. There aren't any voices. There's nothing there. Nothing there. I can't hear you. Damn it. It's 7:30. I lost 8 hours. 8 hours. Okay. I got back to the house and Mom was just leaving in what I presume was her new car. It looked nice, the car. I thought she was going a little fast for the driveway, a little fast for... Our driveway came to a T at the highway. If you didn't watch out, well, the traffic was fast, especially the trucks.
Oh my God!
I suppose I should have taken off at a sprint. Run down and seen what happened to my mother's new car. To my mother. But I couldn't move. There, by the driveway, just up the hill from the accident, he was standing. An old man with a long beard and a bloody leather apron, as if he'd been butchering something. Old Oli was here. Old Oli was real. As real as anything. As real as my life. As real as my mother's death. My mother's death.
You sure you don't want to go inside?
No,
There's no reason to be out here if...
I want to see.
Yeah, well, I don't think you realize what it's going to be like, son. The truck T-boned your mother's car, the driver's side. It's
It hit her so fast the airbags didn't even have time to deploy.
You understand, don't you? We won't be able to get her out until we get back to the garage. The coroners will have to be present,
I
and
understand. I want to see.
I think it would be better if you head up back to the house.
I have a right to be here.
Suit yourself. We do have some questions, though.
What?
Some questions? It was a new car?
Yeah, she bought it from a lot in ore just yesterday.
Didn't she report a vehicle missing recently?
She did, yeah. Her van disappeared from our driveway yesterday.
The insurance paid out that fast.
No, she got an inheritance, paid cash for the car.
Huh? Tell me, where's your dad?
He went out.
How long ago?
A few hours, I think.
Any idea where he went?
No. He had errands, he said.
Uh-huh. Tell me, Daniel, did your mom and dad fight?
I wouldn't call it a...
But they fought sometimes.
I wouldn't call it a fight. They argued.
Mm-hmm. Was your mom depressed? Seemed extra sad recently.
No, she was fine.
Okay, alright. I just ask. Well, look, you should be ready.
What do you mean?
Just be ready. There's some real weird things about this accident. Me, or one of the detectives, or some other officer is gonna have to ask you a lot of questions.
I don't understand.
This doesn't look right. Your mom's in a brand new car, driving down her own driveway, a drive she's been down a million times, but at the bottom of the hill there, she didn't stop. We're gonna be looking at this first as a potential suicide, then a potential homicide. So just be ready.
Homicide?
Just be ready, is all I'm saying. And hey, kid,
Yeah?
if you need to talk to anybody, here's my card. I'm not talking about making a statement, just if you need to talk. Understand?
Should I tell him?
I lost my dad when I was in high school. It was tough.
I should tell him.
So just, keep that card I gave you.
Tell him what? Tell him I black out sometimes? Tell him I beat up that homeless guy in the woods?
Just in case. Okay?
Yeah, sure.
I have a right to be here same as anybody else.
Oh, no.
What is it?
Stay here.
Is that him?
Sir.
Hey, kid, I want to talk to you.
Sir, you're gonna have to remain where you are. This is a crime scene.
Hey, it's gonna be a crime scene if I get my hands on him. Hey, you know where my daughter is?
Mr. Leibowitz, you're going to have to leave.
I want to talk to him first.
Sir.
You don't mind, do you, kid? I mean, if you got nothing to hide, what's the difference?
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, the hell you don't. My daughter is missing. Looks like dead. You were the last person to see her alive.
Mr. Leibowitz, that's just not true.
My girl's name was Beth. She worked at that crap diner downtown. Just started.
Beth?
Do you know her?
Not really. We just had one conversation after last Tuesday.
Oh, conversation. Is that what they're calling it now?
Mr. Leibowitz.
The way I heard it, he was trying to get into her pants. But my Beth is a good girl. Was that why you killed her?
Mr. Leibowitz, I'm going to arrest you in a minute if you don't get yourself under control.
Why don't you get it under control instead of bothering good citizens like me?
You know? All right.
Whoa! What are you doing?
What does it look like? You're under arrest for interfering with the police investigation.
You got no right.
Take it up with your lawyer.
Is it illegal for a father to look for his kid?
Of course not. But you're not the only person with problems today, Mr. Leibowitz. You see that wrecker down there? Van in the back's got a body in it. You want to go look inside and see what he's going through today? You want to go see what's left of his mother?
That true? She in the car?
Yeah.
What kind of a hellscape town you people running here? Little bitty village like this shouldn't even have a lost dog. But you got murders? Kidnappings?
Either leave right now, or I'm arresting you. Your choice.
Yeah. Get off!
I'm sorry about that, Daniel.
Who is he?
No one. Don't worry about it.
I really did talk to a girl named Beth down at the Viking, and I heard something happened.
I said don't worry about it.
You know, Deputy, not knowing things is actually much more stressful than knowing things that are bad.
You say you heard what happened.
Just from some old guys downtown, and I saw the police tape.
Yeah, well, I'm not at liberty to discuss an ongoing investigation, but yes, it's a crime scene. How well did you know her?
I only talked to her once.
Uh-huh. And what'd you talk about?
She told me she was in town living with her aunt. Barb Houston, she said.
Mrs. Houston, sure.
And that,
Go on.
well, she said she was here to get away from her father, get some distance from him, she said.
Okay. Well, having met the gentleman, I think I see her point. She say where she was coming from?
No.
I'll talk to Barb and find that out. Maybe I'll get lucky and she had a restraining order against the dad.
Lucky?
Yeah, it makes him a material witness. I can throw him in a cell for 48 hours. Thanks.
Don't mention it.
And seriously, Danny, go inside.
No one calls me Danny. Not even my mother. All day I kept waiting to cry or punch something or just feel. But I didn't. Maybe I couldn't. I went into the house like the deputy said, and Nadia was standing by the window looking out. She didn't say anything. She didn't look sad or angry either. Maybe it was shock. Or maybe some people just aren't designed to feel. I heard my father come home, but I don't know where he'd been. He went straight down to the basement without a word to either of us. What was weird about that is that it was so normal. I couldn't imagine him doing anything else, and it didn't even occur to me until later to talk to him about Mom. She was dead, but I never thought to say a word. She was dead, and all of us were hiding in our rooms. Nadia's right. I do have quite a collection of books, and that's where I spent the rest of the afternoon. Looking through psych books, considering diagnoses for me, my father, my sister. Sociopath? Probably. Psychopath? What does that even mean? Paranoia? Manic depressive? Schizophrenic? Schizophrenic. Schizophrenia is a serious mental disorder in which people interpret reality abnormally. Schizophrenia may result in some combination of hallucinations, delusions, and extremely disordered thinking and behavior that impairs daily functioning and can be disabling. Hallucinations. I looked out at the woods. Yes?
Your dad home, Danny?
Yeah.
Could you let us in, please?
I don't understand. What's going on?
It's all right. It's all right, Daniel.
Dad?
Move out of the way, boy.
Hello, Will.
Pete,
You gotta come with us. And you gotta put these on.
I don't think that it's...
Will, you're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent. If you give up that right, anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you.
Hey, you have to tell me what's going on.
You want to tell him, Will? You want to explain to your boy how his mom died?
I am innocent until proven guilty.
And that was it. My father, stone-faced and emotionless, was led away in handcuffs without another word. I stood in the doorway, knowing I was feeling a lot of things, but unable to name any of them. I realized that Nadia had joined me at some point. She was just standing there too, staring, just like I was, emotionless.
Dee, it's Nadia. I need a favor. Does your sister still date that cop?
Nadia was on her phone.
My mom's dead and they just took my dad away in handcuffs. I need to figure out what's going on. I don't care if he could get in trouble, and if we're friends, you wouldn't care either. Just call me back.
We stood there, staring out at the driveway where the cops used to be, where her father had just been put in the back of a police car and taken away. It seemed like a long time, but actually it wasn't even 5 minutes.
Hello? Yeah? Alright, thanks. Mom's brakes were tampered with, and they think Dad did it.
We didn't say anything else, either of us. I went to my room and closed the door. I heard Nadia in the kitchen. Water poured. 5 minutes of silence. A pot put roughly down into the sink. She probably made one of those fancy ramen she orders online. Then she went to her room and closed the door. I sat on the edge of my bed. I felt like I was waiting for something. Like I was a kid in an orphanage. Suitcase packed, best clothes on, waiting for his new parents. In my case, replacement parents. I looked out at the woods. The trees were whipping around pretty good. There was plenty of wind. Maybe snow later. I went out into the woods. Late afternoon now, dark soon. I could see the wind in the pines. I could smell the melting snow. I could feel the earth and needles beneath my feet. I could look around and see all the familiar things, but of course I couldn't hear anything but the music that I pumped into my ears. It was one of my songs, if you could call it a song. Just messing with synths, really. Accessible to no one but me. I should have put on real music. Something I would enjoy. Something that could distract me. Instead, all I could think of was taking the headphones off and hearing... what? Schizophrenia is a serious mental disorder in which people interpret reality abnormally. Reality. Reality is... what? Interpret reality abnormally. There were voices in the wind. Maybe not in everyone's wind, but in my wind there were. The wind through the pines was talking. I knew what I heard was in my head. It couldn't be anywhere else. But there it was, telling me things. Telling me to look around. I got out my cell phone and turned on the flashlight, and I began to shine it all around. It was nice, in a way. This was the most I'd listened to the wind in the pines in years. Maybe this wasn't so bad. Maybe...
Bury your secrets, Danny.
Maybe I could handle things. Manageable. Sane. Shining the light, looking at the ground. Had that mound been there before?
Under the ground. Deep, deep, deep.
Wait. There was another mound. And another one. And one over there. Had these been here before? Had something been digging up the woods? Had I? I looked at my hands expecting to see calluses. There might have been more than before. I don't know. I was very, very interested now in what I was hearing in the wind around me. I was guilty of blocking it out for so long. The wind in the pines had been trying to tell me things.
Bury them, Danny.
Bury what? The bones? The memories? Forgetting is kind of burying, isn't it? I forgot what happened after that fight with Mom. I just blacked out and woke up on the ground in the woods, having lost a whole night. Mom is dead. That girl Beth is too. Did I? Could I?
Who'd you murder, Daniel?
Bury them, Danny.
I'm trying, but they keep coming back. It keeps coming back. I don't want to remember. You can't lie if you don't remember, right? Right?
You're going to have to kill him, too.
Who? Nadia? Hey!
Get off of me!
Damn, son, that's a pretty good punch.
Who the hell are you?
You really don't remember? You must be inbred. Oh, jeez Christ, girlie. What did I hit a nerve?
Not as hard as I can hit that nerve.
Oh, you did about all the damage you could do, darling.
What is he doing here?
Where the hell were you?
I went for a walk. What is he doing here?
He knocked on the door, I opened it, and he pushed past me.
Okay, so what does he want?
Ask him, dork. He's standing right there.
What do you want?
I'm still trying to find my daughter.
This morning you said she was murdered.
There's blood, but no body. Trying to find her.
And you thought she was here?
I don't know where she is, but that one there was one of the last people to see her alive.
You keep saying that.
Oh, so you remember me now?
You keep saying I was the last one to see her alive. I'd say her murderer is that person.
Sure. So what?
She told me the reason she was in town was to get away from you.
Yeah, well, that's what you say.
Shut up, both of you. God, this is giving me a headache. Look, asshole, our mother died in a car crash this morning. They think it's murder and they think our dad did it.
Oh, you don't seem that broke up about it.
People grieve differently.
I'll bet. You know what they say in town about you people, don't you?
We couldn't care less.
They say this whole family is a bunch of psychos. Your father gives people the creeps. Your ma did too. None of you have any friends.
Yeah, and if you lived here, you'd know why.
Oh, I get it. Town's filled with rubes, right? You're too big for them? Well, the rubes figured out one thing. They figured out how your dad doesn't seem to have a job, but still brings in money.
My dad has a job.
Oh, really? Doing what? Yeah. Hey, this one old biddy in town told me a story about seeing your old man in Duluth. He was at a pawn shop selling some jewelry and purses and crap.
So, he was probably in Duluth on business and did an errand for my mom.
Oh, your mom got rid of 5 purses all at once, does she? Because that's what he was selling.
What exactly are you getting at?
Wouldn't be the first time a serial killer made a living off his victims.
I froze. He must have thought he really got me because I just stood there, staring at him. He was right. I'd read about it. Serial killers sometimes did sell stuff from their victims.
Someone looks like he's seen a ghost. You kids mind if I look around?
Hey!
What's in there?
Stay out of there! Daniel!
What?
He's going down to the basement.
He can't. Dad'll get angry.
Come on, we have to get him out of there.
We can't go down there. We're not allowed.
Come on!
Well, well, well.
Get out of our house, right now.
Or what? You'll call the cops.
Yes.
Oh, go ahead. What's wrong, sweet cheeks? Afraid to have the cops come and check out this room? Afraid your little secret's going to get out?
Just leave.
This is quite the rumpus room you folks got here. Chains from the ceiling? Oh, good harness there. Nice utility sink. Aluminum, much easier to keep clean.
Just get out.
See, what you don't know about me...
I don't care about you.
What you don't know about me is that for 20 years, I worked processing meat. And this here room? Oh, this is a first-rate kill floor.
Get out.
All it lacks is one little thing. Blades. Oh, nice cabinet. What's in it?
This is our father's workroom. None of us are allowed down here.
What's your father do again? Oh, that's right. We passed that. You got the keys to this cabinet?
No.
How about you, boy? You got access to whatever your daddy keeps in there?
No.
Sure. Of course not. A nice boy like you wouldn't be mixed up in anything. Well, like most people, I'm thinking your dad thought that the padlock would be enough. Funny thing about padlocks, they're only as strong as the metal they're hanging on. See that? Lead pipe, little leverage. Handle on this $99 cabinet. Use right away.
Don't open that.
Or what? Come on, kids. Let's see what Daddy's hiding. It'll be fun.
Daniel?
What's wrong with that kid?
Daniel! There. That's good.
What?
Oh, thank God you're back. You had me scared.
What's happening?
Shut up. I've spiked like 10 calls from Dad. We have to get into town.
Why are we in the woods? What's going on?
Everything's gone to shit, Daniel. The cops are releasing Dad for lack of evidence, and we have to get the basement cleaned up before we go get him. He'll freak out otherwise.
But why are we in the woods? We're burying something?
Wow, you really were out of it.
But...
There's no time now. Go back to being catatonic or whatever.
What?
Just go back to staring and doing what you were told. Things were a lot easier that way.
Nadia, what...
Wait, shh. It's okay.
What did we do?
It's okay. Don't think about it. Don't think at all, okay?
I'm having blackouts. I don't remember anything.
It's better that way. Believe me.
But I don't know what...
It's okay. It'll be okay, but we've got to keep moving.
I'm sorry.
I'm here. I'll help you.
What did I do?
Nothing I wouldn't have done. Bad dreams, sunshine?
How long have you been sitting there?
Just a minute. You sounded bad.
I don't know what happened.
What? You mean yesterday?
I don't know what's happened, and it's messing with my head. Nadia, did I kill him?
That's funny. You're so funny.
Nadia, please.
Like you could harm a fly.
I'm serious. I think I'm crazy. I think I kill people and I don't know it.
You really do think that, don't you? Daniel, look at me. Are you looking at me? You didn't kill anyone.
But you don't know.
I was there last night, remember? And I know you. Hell, Danny, you're the only sane one in this family. Look, I gotta take off.
What?
Jan and I figure it's a good time to go. So we're leaving. Town.
Where are you going?
We're gonna get married.
Yeah, but where are you going?
I'm not telling you that. For your own good, I'm not. I'll get in touch in a couple of days once we get some distance from this mess. In the meantime, you need to take this.
What is it?
It's a combination. In Mom and Dad's bedroom, in the closet, there's a trapdoor in the floor under the carpet. You'll find a safe in there. It's heavy, so be careful lifting it out.
How do you know this?
Listen to me. They were supposed to release Dad last night, but he never came home. I don't know where he is, and I don't know when he'll come back. But if he does, if he makes trouble, you give that combination to the cops. You understand?
No, not at all.
Good. Ignorance is bliss in this case. Trust me this once, Daniel.
What's in the safe?
You don't need to know right now. I hope you never need to know. Goodbye, Danny.
Hello, Daniel.
Yeah.
You wanted to speak to me.
Yeah, is this room wired for video and stuff?
It's an interrogation room, so yeah.
Is all the stuff on? The equipment?
Yes, it's always on when we interview someone. Would you like me to turn the equipment off?
No, I guess not. I need to confess.
Okay. Daniel, you're not doing this just to protect your father, are you?
I thought you released him.
We did, for now.
Okay. My dad's innocent because I'm guilty.
Of what?
Of murder. I think I killed that girl, Beth. I think I killed my mother. And I think I killed Beth's dad. What's his name? Carl.
You think? You mean you don't know?
I've been having blackouts.
Okay.
I'll lose consciousness, and then I'll wake up, and it'll be sometime later. Sometimes an hour or more. And someone's always dead.
So you don't actually remember killing anyone?
No, but I'm crazy. I'm pretty sure I'm schizophrenic. I hear voices in the woods. They tell me to do things, and then I lose all this time. That sounds like repressed memory, doesn't it? And then last night, that Carl guy came to our house and forced his way into the basement, and next thing I know, I'm burying something in the woods.
Burying what?
I don't know. I don't remember putting it in the hole. Only finishing up.
Okay, what was that about your basement?
What?
You said Carl Leibowitz forced his way into your house and went to the basement. Why did he do that?
I don't know.
What's in the basement?
My dad has a workroom down there. We're not allowed.
You're not allowed?
No.
Why? What's so secret? Daniel, I think you need to meet someone.
What do you mean?
This is Special Agent Flute from the FBI.
Hello, Daniel.
What's going on?
What do the metrics say?
Let's talk about that outside. Daniel, can you tell me your father's whereabouts right now?
No.
Do you know where he's likely to go if pressed? A hideout? Something like that?
I don't understand.
He doesn't have a cabin or an apartment in another town?
No. Why would he?
Is he for real?
Take it easy. He's been through a lot.
All right. So, Daniel, I understand you're confessing to a series of murders.
Yeah.
Murders you don't remember committing.
I'm...
You don't remember committing the murders, but you're willing to confess to them.
Well, I have reason to believe that...
I have reason to believe you're full of shit.
Whoa, hang on. Daniel, look, this situation is more complicated than you realize. And I think all of us can understand you wanting to protect your family.
Oh my gosh.
But understand Agent Flute is here because the FBI has reason to believe...
We've been investigating your father. We think he's been involved in a string of murders going back 20 years.
I don't understand.
It's possible that...
Your father's a serial killer.
What?
We've linked up to 12 murders, most in Minnesota, 2 or 3 in Wisconsin, 1 North Dakota. All young people. 10 girls, 2 boys, mostly sex workers. They were dismembered. The pieces were found wrapped neatly in butcher paper and buried in the woods.
Why haven't I heard about this?
The agency has gotten much better at controlling information, and there's an unusually long cool-off period between these murders. It doesn't hurt that the newspapers and local TV stations are struggling, laying off staff. We don't have to worry about ambitious reporters so much anymore.
Do you have any proof against my father?
He's our best suspect.
But do you have any proof?
Daniel, if he didn't do it, you have nothing to hide, right?
There's more you should know.
Wait.
Hang on. We have a reason to believe that whoever committed these murders had an accomplice. In several cases, a woman was spotted with him as he cruised around looking for victims.
Who?
We don't know for sure.
We've got a pretty good guess.
Agent.
Deputy. Daniel, descriptions match your parents. Both of them.
What?
We think your father had help from your mother.
My mother died in a car crash.
Your mother died in a car crash this week. These murders go back 20 years, maybe longer.
Daniel, are you okay?
I need to go.
What about your confession? Change your mind?
I rescind it. I don't remember anything.
What's your take on him now?
Confused kid, messed up family. Maybe he is crazy. I don't know.
No. Mental health issues could foul up the whole case, and I don't want to give the father a path to the insanity plea.
What are you gonna do now?
Keep to the plan. Keep watching him.
Home. The scrap of paper that Nadia had given me was still in my pocket. I headed straight to my parents' bedroom. It hadn't been touched in a couple of days. Not since she died. It was easy enough to find the spot under the carpet, and easy enough to find the safe. The combination worked perfectly. Why wouldn't it? I don't know what I expected to find inside, but it wasn't what I found. I was expecting, I don't know, records, a journal, or a diary maybe. Instead it was just junk. Some jewelry, 2 or 3 scarves, a button with "Why Not" printed on it, and a ticket stub from the 2005 Minnesota State Fair. All of it confused me. Why had Nadia known about this? Why did she think it would protect me? Protect me from what? That's when I found the manila envelope. It was bulging with pictures. Polaroids. I didn't even know we had that kind of camera. The pictures were all faded and bleached out like Polaroids so often are. Some of them had dates written on that wide border along the bottom. One of them even went back to 1997, the year I was born. All of the pictures were, I suppose I should say disturbing, but I wasn't disturbed. I was numb. Sometimes the kids were tied up, sometimes naked, sometimes obviously dead. Most of the pictures were just close-ups of body parts, wounds isolated from faces. Some of them, though, had my father in them. My father doing things. He was smiling in almost all of them. I'd never seen my father smile before. In one or two, he was looking annoyed, at the photographer maybe. That got me thinking, if my father was in them, who was taking the pictures? I put everything back exactly as I'd found it, closed and locked the safe, then gently closed my parents' bedroom door like I didn't want to disturb anything. Like it was a tomb, sealed now for the ages. I was in the woods now. My headphones, my shield against what I heard in there, were left inside. But the weird thing was I didn't hear the voices through the pines now. I didn't hear anything but the wind. I was sitting on the ground and it was just the woods. Just as it has always been. Why did I feel like I'd lost a friend? I looked toward the road. He was there. The boogeyman. Old Ole. An old man in a leather apron and a funny Elmer Fudd hat. He was about 50 feet away, walking inside the tree line. I saw him as a silhouette, walking casually like he didn't have a care in the world. What wasn't so casual was the large knife he carried, swinging back and forth in his hand like a walking stick as he strode towards some unknown destination. I was on my feet before I knew it. I was walking through the woods toward the road, toward him without a thought in my head. All I had was this boiling, heated anger that was pushing and pushing at my back, trying to push me out of control. God, when was the last time I felt angry? Or any emotion other than fear? When did I last feel anything? It was like every little cut from the last 5 years was stinging me, and this time I couldn't keep it under control. Hey! I came up on him fast. Hey, you! I could see the black and red plaid of his jacket under the streetlight that was along the highway. I could see the knife flash in the light at the end of his arm, swinging back and forth like a pendulum. Then I had my hand on his shoulder. I grabbed at the wrist on his knife hand, gripping it firmly. I spun him around and...
Daniel, there you are.
Dad? No leather apron. No funny hat. No knife.
Been looking for you.
Just my father.
I have to move on for a while.
What do you mean?
I'm in a spot of trouble. I need to get clear. Will you and your sister be all right on your own?
Nadia left. She went with Jan.
Who?
Jan, you know, the guy she's been dating for like 3 years, the guy she's planning to marry.
Oh, good. Good, that's good.
We stood there under the streetlight. He chewed on his lip and stared at me. There was a look in his eye I'd never seen before. Sadness? Fear? Well, not exactly, but something like it. Regret, maybe.
I know I'm not leaving you with much.
Regret.
But you keep the house. Sell it if you want. Move out. Might be best if you do. Move out.
Dad,
I gotta get going because,
Dad, Nadia knew the combination of the safe. The one under the floor in your bedroom closet. I looked in it. I saw everything. Now the way he looked at me was sad. He sagged. He stared at me, and for the first time I saw how red his eyes were. So it's all true? You really did those things?
Look, boy, I'm gonna go away. Maybe I'll get clear, maybe I won't. Doesn't much matter now. Suppose people like me shouldn't get clear. I just want you to know I never meant any of this to touch you or your sister. You especially. That was your mom's doing. She knew you'd need to be separate from it. She knew you were more...
sensitive.
Yeah.
I thought it was me, Dad. I thought I was the one doing it all. Mom's accident, that girl from town, hell, even the squirrel on the porch. I thought I was doing it all and not remembering it. I thought I was crazy.
No, son. You're the sane one.
He took a step closer to me and put a hand on my shoulder. That was the only time I remember my father touching me with anything like affection.
Listen, Daniel. You sell this place. You get clear of this town, here? This'll be no place for you when it all comes out. Kids will trespass, play pranks. About drove your mother crazy.
Was she... He knew what I was asking by the look in my eyes.
No. She never harmed anyone.
But she was there, right?
Don't ask me such a thing.
I didn't say anything, but I could feel the tears starting to boil up in my eyes. He could see it too. I could tell by how he looked at me.
Ah, damn it.
I'm sorry. Never mind.
Look. We all got our sins, right? I don't want to talk about your mother that way. I don't want you to remember her that way. Imagine why she wanted to be there when But she had her thing just like I did. I never did understand it, but she had her thing. We all do. Now please, Daniel, please don't dwell on that.
Where are you gonna go?
Well, I'm not telling you that. It'd be better that way.
What should I do?
Whoever comes, state cops, FBI, whoever, wants you to cooperate with them, understand? Show them the safe, the mounds on the back property, everything. Even if I can't get clear, you need to keep yourself clear, understand?
Yeah.
All right. One last thing. Now this is important.
Freeze! Both of you, hands in the air!
It was a black Escalade, and it was on us before we knew it.
Hey!
Dad was gone in a flash. I'd never seen him run like that. And then, I don't know. I was running after him, trying to catch up. It never occurred to me that I was running away from the cops, too. That I could get in serious trouble. I could just see my father's shadow ahead, weaving in and around the trees. A dark specter among the pines, and then...
Jeez, hold it! Dude! Got you! Don't make it any worse, Will!
There were other cops in the woods. Of course they'd send more than one car. They had us surrounded all along.
Take it easy!
And my father, lying on the ground, handcuffs snapped onto his wrist, was laughing. Not loud, not maniacally, just laughing. Like a man who'd heard a joke. All of a sudden, I saw how funny it was, too.
How are you doing, Dan?
Am I under arrest?
No, but you're going to be held as a material witness. We have to convince the DA you aren't a flight risk.
I'm not.
We all know that. But the DA is from Duluth, the big city. They do things differently there.
My dad okay?
He's being very cooperative. Almost happy. The FBI guys say he's a serial killer. What do you have to say about that?
Did he tell you about the safe?
I don't know. It's the FBI show now. We're only getting scraps.
That's a combination to a safe built into the floor of my parents' bedroom closet. You'll have to look under the carpet. Be careful lifting it out. It's heavy.
What's in it?
He told me to cooperate with you.
What?
My dad. He told me to cooperate with you. Look in that safe. You'll have everything you need.
Dan, for real now, did you know?
About him? No.
Some people are going to find that hard to believe. You lived under his roof. You knew about his workroom in the basement.
I didn't know what was down there. We weren't allowed.
You're 24.
We weren't allowed.
It was a kind of laboratory. He had a mortician's table down there. Cutting equipment. A drainage system. Forensics have just started, but word is they won't get any evidence out of that basement. They say it's cleaner than an operating room.
It probably is.
Daniel, there's one thing you need to know.
What?
Your father is writing out confessions as we speak. He's up to 17. He admits to that girl, Beth, from out of town, the one who disappeared.
I remember.
But there's two we're questioning him about. He's balking on. One is the girl's father, Carl Leibowitz. The other is your mother. He claims to have nothing to do with those.
Oh.
Do you know anything about them?
He said he wasn't responsible for Mom?
That's right. The FBI guys agree. They say it doesn't fit his profile. Daniel.
Yeah?
Do you know anything about those?
Nadia was with me when Carl died.
What was that?
Nothing. I don't remember anything about either of those.
You're sure?
Positive. I don't remember a thing.
You know, the DA and the FBI guys, they're going to have a lot of questions for you.
I'm not worried.
Why?
I can handle it. I'm the sane one in the family. It didn't take long for them to let me go. My father kept confessing until the lawyers felt they had enough. They didn't need my testimony anymore. So I took a ride in a police car back to my house. It was still a crime scene, so they let me pack a bag and go to the Nomad Motel at the edge of town. But I only had to stay there a day or two. Then I was back in the house. Alone. Walking the halls, looking in the rooms. They asked if I could please stay out of the basement for the time being because they may want to come back and search for more evidence. I did, of course. It was easy to avoid the basement. My training ran deep. Hello?
Hey,
Oh, hi. Where are you?
Tennessee.
Really?
Yeah. I'd rather not say where.
Did you hear about Dad?
Yeah. We've been following online.
Yeah. Nadia, did you know?
How could I not? I mean, not the extent of it, but yeah, I knew all of us were majorly screwed up. All of us but you, of course.
Don't say that.
Feeling left out? Don't be stupid, Dan.
One thing. That night that Carl guy broke into our house?
Yeah? You're worried.
Yeah. Did I...
Don't worry, dork. You were just as useless as ever.
So, you...
Daniel, this family has been cursed for something from the start. Eventually, we're gonna have to tell everything to the cops or somebody. But when it's just us, like you and I on the phone here, let's not. Let's just... not.
Nadia, I don't remember what I did.
Lucky you. I'll try to call again.
The next time I heard from my sister was a year later. It was an email with the wedding picture, her and Jan at some chapel in Las Vegas. She was in jeans and a t-shirt, wearing a corny veil and holding a bouquet of plastic flowers, probably both rented from the chapel. After that, nothing. It's been 2 years since my father was arrested. His trial was quick and sensational. Moved to another county because we're rural and everybody knows everybody around here. No chance for an impartial jury. Ended up with 24 life sentences because there's no death penalty in Minnesota, or North Dakota, or Wisconsin. I go and see him about once a year. He seems good. Serial killers always seem to enjoy being caught. There's 2 or 3 true crime writers buzzing around his story, and he keeps encouraging me to sell it to them. But, I don't know. Kids come around to our house, just like he predicted. They ring the doorbell and run away laughing. Honestly, I kind of enjoy that. The sound of children's laughter. The call center finally gave me my own terminal, lets me work from home. Even though I'd begged for one for years, they said they did it for everyone else's benefit. I was proving a distraction at the office. So, I stay here, wishing Nadia would call, visiting my father now and again, and walking in the woods around our house, now that they've been mostly excavated by the FBI. I walk without my headphones because I want to hear the voices that I heard before. Sometimes I almost can. But whatever the case, I enjoy the woods. I enjoy the feeling of the needles beneath my feet, the rushing of the wind through the trees, and I enjoy the smell of pines, darkly. Because I know the voices could come back at any moment, telling me to do things, telling me to remember things. Because of all the death and crime that happened on this property, in the rush to convict a serial killer, the authorities chose to ignore the one crime my father refused to confess to. The death of my mother. It happened on the night I was blacked out and angry at her. No one's looking into that crime at all. And sometimes I wish the voices would come back and tell me what happened. But mostly I want the voices to return because now they're my only friend. Well, almost my only friend.
The Smell of Pines, Darkly, Part 4. Featured Trelawney Erwin as Nadia. Caleb Sofers was the deputy. Ian Hall portrayed Agent Flute. Jeffrey Adams was Will. And starring Justin Kapla as Daniel. Other voices provided by the talented cast. Script, direction, and sound design by Jeffrey Adams. Some sound effects courtesy of the Free Sound Project at freesound.org. The song Despair and Triumph was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. This program is copyright 2022 by the Icebox Radio Theater, which is solely responsible for its content. Partial funding made possible in part by the voters of Minnesota through a grant from the Minnesota State Arts Board, thanks to a legislative appropriation from the Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund. For more information, visit iceboxradio.org.